Hello, welcome to Endgame Arts. I'm doing another collection video. This one's going to be Xbox 360. Xbox 360 isn't my all-time most favorite console, nor is the original Xbox. I really don't have too many games for it. What you're going to see in this video is all I really have. I don't really have no desire to collect for it. I'm not saying the Xbox is a bad console. It's just, I don't know, I just grew up with PlayStation, and it's just my #1 console to go to play. I'm not saying anybody anything wrong. I'm not trying to do a fan war or anything like that. It's just what PlayStation has on their console is enough for me. Now, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox, the original, all have great games. But these are the games I own, and I was just going to jump right into it and show you my collection, what I've built up. The first game was, this is the game that caused me to desperately feel that I needed an Xbox 360, and that is Alan Wake. This is an amazing survival horror game. I was so bummed out that it never came to PlayStation, but it's an Xbox 360 exclusive. And if you have a 360, this is almost a must-buy game. Alan Wake is one of those rare, amazingly actiony, but still rich with survival horror feel to it. It was the most well-done game that I've ever played on the Xbox 360. It is beyond anything else I've ever played. I've played this game so much because it's such a well-made game. They did have a sequel. I don't remember what it's called, but I don't think it ever had a physical copy release. It only was digital, and it was like a branch-off story. I think it was like Alan Wake American Horror Story, I think it's called. But if you have a 360, this is a must-play. This is a must-own game. It's almost close to just buying a whole 360 just to play this one game. It's that good of a game. Moving on. Oh, I'll fix that. Here's a game that's infamy with a lot of people, and that is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts&Bolts. And this is actually a double pack, which actually comes with Video Pinata. I actually have not played any of these games. I popped them in to make sure they work and everything. Everyone says that this Banjo-Kazooie Nuts&Bolts is terrible. Now, I don't have no connection with the Banjo-Kazooie games because I didn't grow up with a Nintendo 64, so I never played the original Banjo-Kazooie games. So, like, I wouldn't have really strong an opinion on it, so I haven't really sat down and played it. I just wanted a kids game, because I like kids games. I really, really appreciate platformers, and just, I like to have some games that in case I have nephews, or even if I have kids at some point, that they have some games that can just sit down and play without needing guns and violence and all that stuff, which is nothing wrong with games like that, and I have no problem if kids want to play those. I'm just saying that it's nice for a kid to actually sit down and play something like Banjo-Kazooie once in a while, or Video Pinata. But Video Pinata is also another really popular, most loved game. Here's the inside. Here's the other one. I heard it's really a good game. I actually haven't played it either. I do have them installed on my console, but on my Xbox 360. But yeah, I thought this was a cool package to buy because it comes with 1 and 2. So, like I said, I don't really have no connection to it. So, another game that it surpassed the PS2 version, so I went ahead and just bought it on the 360, and that is Bully the Scholarship Edition. Now, if anyone knows me, I'm really not a big fan of Rockstar. I know a lot of people are going to flip out about that because they make Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, which I actually don't really care too much for those games. I find them really boring. I collect them and I hold on to them because I know they're really good. But Bully is actually a really neat game. You don't ever see a game like this anymore where you're the bully and you're going around beating up kids, and you can try to be like a polite bully, or you could be a really rough, mean bully. It's your choice. So I thought Bully was a very, very a different take on gaming, so I really appreciate that. Because I like to see games that don't mind to be, how do they call it, politically correct and stuff like that. Because I don't know if you could see a game like this come out anymore. Because it's about bullying kids and stuff like that. Which, you should never bully kids or anybody like that. You shouldn't do that stuff. But, but it shouldn't go off like saying, just a sec. It shouldn't go off and try to say that, it shouldn't have, you're condemned if you did it and everything like that. It's just, moderation. I'm not saying you should bully kids. Let's just stop that. Just ignore me. Moving on to Condemn the Criminal Origins. Actually a really good survival horror game. It's a first-person one. It's another really good game if you have an Xbox 360. Alan Wake surpasses it by miles, but it's actually really good. It's a little clunky, but it's actually a pretty good game, and I actually really enjoyed it. I haven't beat it, actually, but I'm close. I'm really close. I've actually been watching I was watching Markiplier, if you don't know who Markiplier is, he does Let's Plays, and he never beat it. So I didn't actually get to see it all. So he's actually stopped where I stopped. So I hope to get back into this, and then you should really check it out. It's actually a pretty good survival horror game. Moving on. And there's the sequel, and that is Condemned 2 BloodShot, which is, I actually had this on the PS3, which was, I beat it back in the PS3, but it was a long time ago. I still was a good game. I got it for the 360 because the original Condemned never released on any other console but the Xbox 360 or NPC, but it's only on console on 360. So I figured, well, if it's only the first one's on 360, I just might as well buy the second one on 360. That way it's continuation of the story on the same console. So I actually beat this one long ago. It's a really freaky game. You should try to check them out. They're actually pretty good survival horror games. 1 and 2. Moving on to CrackDown. Yeah, my brother used to actually have this game, and he played like the heck out of it. I'm not the biggest fan in open world games. I don't understand the massive appeal of just doing basically nothing, running around in an open world. I like structure. I like points, reasons to go to certain destinations and stuff like that. Then you can have me run to this destination, but well, I don't care. But moving on, CrackDown. I haven't actually played it, so I don't know much about it. I just know you're like a police officer, and you're like cybernetic and like enhanced. You can run up building walls and stuff like that. So, CrackDown. It's interesting game. What I've seen of it a little bit. I've never played it, but I've seen it gameplay of it, and so I picked it up because it is an Xbox 360 exclusive. And here's a sequel, CrackDown 2, which I heard people say it's not as good as the first one, which I have no opinion because I haven't even played this one. I have never played any of the CrackDowns. Which I heard that remake, not a remake, but it's a remake, but it's not a remake. They have a new reboot, I guess, of their CrackDown coming on the new Xbox One. So maybe I'll buy it then, but I gotta buy an Xbox One first. So CrackDown, if you know it, let me know if it's good. Moving on, Fable Lost Chapters on the original Xbox. There's the back of it. Fable 1 is like the best RPG to play. This one actually has a bonus DVD inside of it. There you go. I don't know. I think it's a making, which it aggravates me because they put the sticker on the cover. I gotta get a whole new cover. It's so stupid. But Fable's like one of the best RPGs you can buy on the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox. I'm glad it still works on the Xbox 360 because not every game is backwards compatible on the Xbox 360. So if you have Xbox 360, play Fable. It's that good of a game. I did have the remake, remaster, or whatever you wanted to say on the 360, but it was broken to all hell. It had so many frame rate drops and everything. It was useless. Yeah, there were updates to fix it and everything like that, some of it. But that means I don't own the updates. The game is forever broken. There was a saying that a game that it's released broken is forever bad, but a game that's delayed could possibly be good. The guy who created Mario said that, which I would say his name, but I would probably butcher it and say it completely wrong, so I'm not going to even say it at all. You know who I'm talking about. So, moving on to Fable 2, which is actually another really good game. Not as good as the first one, but it's still decently enjoyable. I remember playing this one, and it's actually pretty good, but I don't own the third one, because the third one's just crap. I'm going to tell you right now, don't buy the third one. The third one does not exist. It's terrible. Moving on to Forza Horizon. It's actually an open world racing game. It's actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. Nothing on the manual side. Lame. I didn't get the second one. I know the second one's on the Xbox 360, but if I ever get an Xbox One, I'd rather just get Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox One, because it would be the definitive edition of the version of the game. So, but you can't get the first one on the second one. Xbox One, so no-brainer to get this one. So, it's actually pretty good. I played a little bit of it. Controls are good and everything like that. But like I said, I'm not really into open world racing games. They're not really my thing. I just like to pick a race and play it. I don't know this appeal about everything being open world. I just don't understand it. I'm sorry. It's just boring to drive around, run around, and just fly around and just like Fallout, Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto. I just don't understand it. But if you like it, then more power to you. Moving on. This game right now, I'd say this is probably one of the best simulators you can get, and that is Forza Motorsport 4. It's like the best simulator racer you can probably buy right now. Aside from the Xbox One, which they got a few of them, but it's just like this one does not have like microtransactions and all that stuff and DLC filled crap and everything. Yeah, it still has DLC stuff in it, but it's nowhere near as bad as the future iterations of this game. So if you're gonna get anything, try to get this one, because it's back when they quit trying to scam you and didn't actually release a fixing working game too without all the updates. So yeah, this is probably the best one you can get of a simulator racing right now. It beats Gran Turismo 5 and 6. It's that good, because Gran Turismo has been on a decline right now. I got videos on that if you want to watch it. Moving on to Gears of War Triple Pack, which comes with Gears of War 2, and Gears of War 2 All Fronts Pack. I actually have all the manuals inside of here, and then I got both the games right here. I'm not the biggest fan of Gears of War. I know a lot of people really, really love this game. I get it. I understand it. It's really gritty and very muscular and testosterone everywhere. I mean, it's just every guy. If you want to sit there and watch this game and you want to see everybody starving and you see these guys like bunked up like freaking huge in muscles and everything, well, there's all your food. They're going to these guys. I just didn't like this whole football looking feel and everything. Like every guy's a big broody warrior and stuff. And gameplay, I didn't understand the sprint button being the same button you stick on walls, because I'm always running and boom on the wall, run boom on the wall, run boom on the wall. It is just annoying to all hell. Gears of War is a good game, but it's got fundamental flaws that drives me fucking nuts. I do not understand what people see in it, but it's still a good game to get on your Xbox 360. I know people are going to flip out that I'm bad-mouthing Gears of War, but it's got a lot of flaws in the game. Moving on to Gears of War 3, which, again, same flaws. They still haven't fixed it, and like I said, it's just alright. It's an okay story, it's okay. It's something you can play on your Xbox 360. That's just the honest thing about Xbox 360 games. They're okay. They're not like amazing to experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. Aside from Alan Wake. Alan Wake, best game on Xbox 360. Moving on to Gears of War Judgment. A lot of people say this one's the black sheep of the game. Which I don't know, because I haven't played it. That's the honest truth. I haven't really played it. I don't know if I ever showed you the pack of it. Sorry. This is Gears of War 3. That was dumb of me. I got caught up in it being a rant. Sorry about that. Nope. Fixed. Moving on. This is probably one of the other main reasons you want to get an Xbox 360, and that is Halo Combat Evolved: The Anniversary Edition. This is a remaster. This is how you do a fucking remaster. You basically put the first one and the second, the original first one and the remaster all on one disc. Basically, what I'm saying is you can actually it actually has a translation thing where you'd be playing the remastered, and you can just push the select button, I believe it is, and then it whoosh, and switch back to the original first Xbox edition. And I love that. That is amazing to experience. I actually kept switching. There was one times I'd be playing it. I'd play it in the new version and be like, you know what? This time around, I want to play the old version without having to own the old version. That's how you do a remaster. A lot of people say, why would you want to play the old version? Because I like the old version. I like the graphics and sometimes like that. Even if you get better graphics, it does not mean it makes it all around better game. So, this is one of the main reasons you want an Xbox 360, just for this. This and Alan Wake. That's your main reason. Now, there's only one Halo that surpasses the original one for me. And I'll get to that when I get to it. And moving on to Halo 2 on the original Xbox. Actually, it came with an extra sleeve thing. I don't know why that is, but it said there. But, Halo 2's not my most favorite Halo. It's okay. Again, Xbox 360 games are okay. Its multiplayer is it's where it shined was in Halo 2, and I will admit I played the piss out of this game on its multiplayer. I didn't even have it online. I remember playing with lots of friends and doing tournaments and stuff like that in Halo 2. Halo 2 is a great game for multiplayer, but single player experience, meh. It's not as good as the first one. It's just not. That's the honest truth. It's still fun, so if you have an Xbox 360, get Halo 2. It's really bad. Sucks that remaster version that they did on the Xbox One and the Master Chief Collection never came on the original Xbox 360. That would have been awesome. That way you can have this version, the remastered version, on Xbox 360. Moving on. Halo 3. this one is probably the, probably my most disappointed one out of the Halo series. I did not like Halo 3 that much. Halo 3 was very, very under low for me. I don't know how to say it. Its gameplay, graphics and gameplay was really defined, but I didn't like the enemies. The brutes were very, very disappointing. I was really into the elites. Once I learned how to beat the brutes, they were just a breeze to get through this game. Halo 3 is probably the worst in the franchise, in my opinion. It's okay. Again, okay. It's all Xbox 360 games. Okay. Nothing memorable and something that I'd say that everyone should just go out and buy. Next one is Halo 3 ODST, which I actually say I enjoyed it a little bit more than Halo 3, but just do the firefight. I love playing online firefight. It was okay, again, okay. There's not much else I could say. I did like certain concepts of it. I did like playing as the rookies, and I love playing the ODST sword drops that fell out of the sky. Halo ODST is not a bad game, and I'd say everybody should really try to check it out, because it's not as bad as people try to say it is. Now, here's the best Halo game of them all, and that is Halo. I could not put this game down. I fell in love. This would actually invigorated my love for Halo. If it wasn't for Halo Reach, I probably still wouldn't be owning an Xbox 360, just the sheer fact of Alan Wake and Halo were like, eh, but when Reach came out, I was like, this is the game. This is the game. These are the 3 games you gotta own an Xbox 360 for. Halo Reach, I loved making my Spartan. I love all the cutscenes with my character. I love fighting the Covenant again. I love all the weapons, the graphics, the ending. It was just an amazing experience all the way through, and it will always be my most loved Halo game. I loved its multiplayer. I loved its firefight. I loved its campaign. Flawless masterpiece right here. And if I believe this is the last game that Bungie made in the Halo franchise. So, yeah. Check out, if you don't have an Xbox 360, if you have an Xbox 360, get Halo Reach. Now, moving on to Halo 4, the Game of the Year edition. This was a letdown. I do believe it's a little better than 3, and campaign-wise, better than 2's. But other than that, it just was not. I had so much level hype for Halo Reach that Halo 4 could not deliver at all. I mean, at all. It completely killed my mood. I actually had no interest in playing the Halo 5 on the original. I mean, I keep saying original. On the Xbox One, because I can just tell it's not going to interest me at all. Halo 4 is just to say that Halo ended. Basically, when Halo 4 came out, you just say it flatlined, and it frankly isn't a franchise much anymore. That's just the honest truth, ain't it? Reach and Halo Combat Evolved is the only Halos you should really care about. Other than that, Halo 4 is okay. Again, like I said, Xbox 360 has okay games. Nothing that will be remembered throughout history. The only reason Halo is remembered throughout history is because of its multiplayer. Its campaign was good, and it was a great experience for the FPS, but it wasn't an FPS-defining game. Doom gave an FPS-defining game. Halo's just was actually a good, at least a decent story evolved. And its story was meh, okay in some opinions. But only thing that made it reason it's become a household name is because of multiplayer. And its multiplayer is good. It is a worthy franchise for its multiplayer. But now it's not. It's a shell of its former self. Now, it's just how it is. And moving on to Halo Wars. This game's actually pretty good. I actually found it to be a really fun RTS, which is a real-time strategy game. Which I don't know if anybody really knows about Halo Wars. It's good, but I was really disappointed to not play anybody else than the Spartans or the human race in the campaign. That was a huge letdown. I would have loved to play the Flood and the Covenant in this game for its campaign. Like if you play, kind of like StarCraft, where you can play each one and get a different ending for each one. That would have been intelligent. But I have heard that they are actually making a second one for the Xbox One, so that is pretty interesting. I'll have to admit that actually has me more intrigued than Halo 5 and all that stuff. So check out Halo Wars. It's actually not a bad RTS on a console. Moving on. Well, I kind of forgot about this game. This was actually a really good reason to buy an Xbox 360, and that is Left 4 Dead. I was actually blown away because, I mean, this is actually one of the first time where co-op really mattered to me in game. So you didn't really play too many games where co-op really mattered. You usually could have managed on your own, but Left 4 Dead, I mean, it's a great game, and I actually heard rumors that they're actually making a third one here coming out soon. But that's just rumors. Don't quote me on that. Because Valve can't count the 3. Left 4 Dead is a good game, and it's something you definitely have to own for your Xbox 360, because I was so disappointed it never came to PlayStation 3. It so needed to come out on PlayStation 3. But yeah, this was one of those games that defined Xbox 360 over the PS3, but it wasn't, it's not something that I will actually go off and remember. It was a great experience when it came out, but will I ever go back and play it? Not like PS3 games. I mean, it's not like Uncharted or God of War or Infamous. I mean, it's a good game, but it's forgettable. Now, I don't want to say it's forgettable in a bad way. It's definitely going to be there, and you always will talk about it. But it ain't going to be something you'd be like, dude, that game there, that game right there. And that, let's move on to Left 4 Dead 2, which it did improve on the game, it did, but I didn't like its characters as much. Now, Ellie's the only one I really cared about. Ellie was a guy who loved Ellie. But Left 4 Dead really improved the formula, and it's, like I said, that's why the people say Valve can't count the 3, because if you don't know, Valve has never released a game that's in the third of its series. Half-Life Dead, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Valve can't count the 3. And I actually think they purposely make that tradition. They want to make sure it stays like that. Moving on to, I say this is a very underrated RPG, and that is Lost Odyssey. This is a huge-ass RPG. I mean, so huge. I'm going to open this very carefully because this thing has 4 discs. 4 discs on that thing. 4 discs for an RPG. That's how huge it is. Now, probably on a Blu-ray disc, you could have fit all 4 discs on it, but still, for its time, that was pretty impressive. But Lost Odyssey is one of the last few actual, like, AAA, big-budget, turn-based games. And it doesn't get a lot of love. I don't know why, but check it out if you can. It's getting kind of hard to find a copy, but check out Lost Odyssey. It's actually a pretty good turn-based RPG. Moving on to Prey, which is actually a pretty good FPS. I was actually pretty surprised when I picked this up. Prey is like I tend to like games that has a Native American in it, because it's just, you don't see a lot of games with Native Americans, if you think about it. You don't even see really games based off of Native Americans. Because if you actually come to a game like the Western games, you're most of the time always a cowboy and you come across like a Native American camp or something like that. You're never a Native American. So I thought it was actually kind of cool. And Prey is actually a really neat and bizarre kind of game of like aliens and monsters and stuff like that. It's kind of like Turok, but in space. But if Turok can be in space, because if you play Turok Seeds of Evil, it's kind of like I'm almost in space. But moving on from that, a lot of people try to say Portal. Valve created the Portals first, when actually it was this game, because this game actually came out before the original first Portal, and it actually had portals, which if you can see right there, it actually had portals before Portal. If that's getting confusing, I'm sorry. It actually had portals where you could jump through and appear in another area, and you try to use them to get to certain areas. It actually did it first before Portal, but it didn't get the love and fame, so a lot of people think Portal from Valve did it first. Moving on, I remember this was actually my first Xbox 360 games, because when you got an Xbox 360, there was hardly any games at all for the Xbox 360, and that is Quake 4. It's actually a pretty good, it uses the Doom 3 engine. Here's the inside. That's like the making of the game. It's a pretty good, Doom, another kind of Doom 3 game. It does have a lot of frame rate issues, a lot. But still, it's actually a pretty good game. It's still fun. It's pretty dark and gritty. It's not like Doom 3, but it's definitely more action-packed. So check out Quake 4. It's actually, I think it's a game that gets overlooked on your Xbox 360 collection. So I don't see a lot of people talk about Quake 4. Moving on, here's another FPS, because Xbox 360 had a lot of FPSs. And that is the Serious Sam collection. This is actually a pretty good game. This is actually, it's like going back to the original Doom style. Because if you know me, I love Doom clones. I love the original, sprite graphics, gun facing forward Doom. The classic Doom style. And this game's kind of like it, but still with newer age graphics. No booklet, by the way, which is lame. It comes with 4 legendary games plus all the DLCs, so it's actually a really good buy if you're a collector. Check it out. It's actually a pretty good game. Now, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's definitely like a Duke Nukem kind of game. If you don't know Duke Nukem, it's a pretty name, like, balls to the wall games. Here's another RPG that, actually, this was actually my first one ever in the series, and I do want to get more into it, but for some reason I ignored the series, and that is Tales of Vesperia. This game, if I had to say any game that I was hugely disappointed and never got a PS3 release, well, it did get a PS3 release, but it was only in Japan, and it never had an English translation, which, that stuff I never understand that stuff. It's like, you have an English translation of the Xbox 360 version, and you have a PS3 version on Japan. Why can't you bring it out on the PS3 if you already have an English version? But, enough of that. Tales of Vesperia, it's like, I remember popping this in, it was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful. I never thought an anime, I usually call these kind of games anime RPGs than JRPGs because it's anime looking. While Final Fantasy's a JRPG, but it's got more of a humaner, grittier look. I know it's just how I talk. I usually call these kind of games like the Artanelico and stuff like that anime RPGs because it's anime characters. Tales of Vesperia is the first game I ever played in the Tales series, and I can see why a lot of people love them. It's more of an action version of RPGs, and I don't know if a lot of people actually know about this game on the 360. Well, they do if they own or are into JRPGs, but a lot of 360 owners may not know about such a great RPG, like a Lost Odyssey. Because most of you got to admit that RPGs like this were not really big on the Xbox 360 because it was a highly American console. Now, there was a lot of 360s in other countries, but it's nowhere near the level of PlayStation. Just because PlayStation's just been around longer. It's got a bigger foothold in the market. And since the PS1, people is kind of associated with the PlayStation as the JRPG console to go to. And RPGs in general. But Tales of Vesperia, if you haven't heard of it, or you're very interested in it, if you want to try it out, because it's actually amazing. And if this game gets you in, there's a lot of Tales series games. From all the way to the original PS1, to PS2, to PS3. And newer ones coming on the PS4 and Xbox One. Well, wait a minute. I might not be coming on Xbox One. I'm not 100% sure on that. But check it out because Tales games get overlooked a lot. And it's actually becoming really big. So check them out. Because they're actually becoming really expensive. Because if you want to get the 1 and 2 and the PS1 and like PS2 ones, they're pretty expensive. Which I'll probably try to collect at some point. Here's a triple pack thing. And that is Trials, Limbo, and SplosionMan. Which, I basically bought this for Limbo, for a physical copy of Limbo. And all 3 of these games are actually a lot of fun. Here's the inside. Limbo was actually that much of a game that I enjoyed it. And when I saw I had a physical copy, even on 360, I had to pick it up. Trials actually turned out to be a really good game. I got into it. I actually went off and bought its sequel almost, and that is Trials Fusion. And it's actually still as good. Just as good. I mean, they're both the same level to me, but it's just as good. SplosionMan was basically like a fast-paced platformer, where you just like run really fast, or 2D side-scroller. Kind of like a Rayman Origins, and Rayman Legends, but just you kind of explode yourself to get up high ledges. Check it out, because it's like a triple pack, and it's the only way you can get these indie games on disc. And here's the last game in my 360 series, collection. This is, like I said, this is only going to be one video, because this is all the games I have. And that is Witcher 2, the Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. And now, this might blow your mind. I've never played any of Witcher games. I've never played any of the Witcher games, but I want to point out a good friend of mine at I have a look, not a good friend really, but my local mom and pop store. Game pop store, because I don't own a GameStop where I live. We're kind of close friends almost, and he knows that I'm a collector, and he allowed me to actually take the disc from one collection and put it in this collection, and that is he allowed me to take the disc from the music, the soundtrack, and and he allowed me to put it in this collection as well, and he allowed me to take the map as well from the original first release and put it all into one collection. It was really nice like that, and here it is. Now, moving on from that, I never played any of the Witcher games. I've never played Witcher 1. I even have it on my PC. I even have 1 and 2 on my PC. Haven't played it. I bought this one because I wanted a physical copy on my Xbox 360, and too bad this never got a PS3 release. And I haven't played the third one yet. A lot of people probably say I should, but it's an open world game, and to be honest with you, like I said, I'll probably never get around to playing it because I just find those kinds of games boring. Boring as shit. I'm gonna have to be blunt. They're boring. But that's my Xbox 360 collection. Like I said, I won't be doing any more collection videos of this because it's just all I got. If I ever get more room or space, I might collect more 360 games, but this is probably all I'm going to ever get on 360. So, thank you all for watching, and I will be doing more collection videos and unboxings and Let's Plays. So, hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more. And I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!